Starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to this webinar entitled Meditation for the Corporate Mystic. Okay, first of all, just like to thank you for taking time out to listen to this webinar. I'm going to keep this webinar brief. I've scheduled around 25 to 30 minutes for this presentation. And basically we're going to be discussing why meditation in the corporate world is now taking off as one of the big methods or one of the ways to enhance an employee's working life. Okay, so why are the biggest corporations employing corporate meditation teachers like me to gain a competitive edge in their respective marketplaces? And it's basically because HR departments are finding that their employees are pretty much stressed out, suffering from anxiety, negative emotions. Staff are even reporting that they're unmotivated. They're susceptible to burnout. Absenteeism is rearing its ugly head within the corporate world, where people are taking time off work because of perhaps their high work ethic, and just leading them to a point where they're burnt out and need to take time off. Also, underperformance can be an issue at work, and many employees are just, laden with worry, basically worrying about the bills, worrying about things outside of work, which again can affect your performance at work. So how does that affect the company? Companies can report low sales figures because the workers are not happy, they're not in a conducive state to producing and to performing at their highest level. There can be communication issues within the workplace. Some staff can be over-emotional. There's gossip in the workplace. Staff can have bad attitudes that can, lead to the office not being such a nice place. Bullying. Superiority complex, where you have staff walking around feeling that they're pretty much holier than thou, and this can lead again to a bad atmosphere within the office. You can have angry staff, and again, all contributing to an office atmosphere that's not conducive to work. So we want to make sure that we can deal with some of these issues that often fly under the radar, often fly unnoticed until there is a one-on-one problem, until that person, or there is a complaint made, and all of a sudden there's a meeting with HR, and the bosses need to get involved to resolve the issues, etc. Or sometimes things can carry on for months without surfacing, and people and staff are just unhappy. So how can we use meditation as a way of preempting some of these issues and dealing with some of these issues before they arise? Okay, so what are the benefits of meditation? Can meditation help us? Where's the evidence? What's the research telling us? Okay, and basically there have been recent articles on meditation, on the benefits of meditation and how it affects employees. So I'm going to share with you a few of those articles. So here's the first one. A growing number of corporations, including Deutsche Bank, Google and Hughes Aircraft, offer meditation classes to their workers. Making employees sharper is one benefit. Studies say meditation also improves productivity, in large part by preventing stress-related illness and reducing absenteeism. That was an article from Time magazine. Another article here, studies from the National Institute of Health, University of Massachusetts, Mind-Body Medical Institute of Harvard University, show that meditation enhances the qualities companies need most from their knowledge workers. Increased brainwave activity, enhanced intuition, better concentration, and the alleviation of all kinds of aches and pains that plague employees the most. Okay, and that was Business Week magazine, recent article in Business Week magazine. Here's another couple of articles. Recent research has shown that meditation is good for the brain. It appears to increase grey matter, improve the immune system, reduce stress, and promote a sense of well-being. However, according to a study published today in the online edition of the journal PLOS Biology, meditation can also affect attention. Okay, so it can cause your attention span to increase and obviously allow you to perform more effectively. And that was a article recently published in the New York Times. Here's another article. Meditation is now moving into the boardroom, with studies showing that it improves concentration. Meditation is a growing business trend that may be coming soon to an office near you. It's cropping up in human resources programs across the country to promote calm as we work overtime, skip lunch, do meeting marathons, save our annual leave, lose sleep over job security and monster mortgages, and multitask like mad in the global recession backwash. So bosses are starting to realize that investing in stress reduction programs such as meditation makes fiscal sense too. Okay, this is an article in the recent article from the Daily Telegraph. Okay, so some more evidence that meditation can help us to live a more fulfilled life and live a happier life. This is a recent article that was published in the Daily Mail, and it's about a monk called, his name is Matthew Ricard. Okay, basically they've reported that he has an abnormal capacity for joy thanks to meditation. So he's been dubbed the world's happiest man, and it's basically because they have measured his brain waves in a controlled environment, and the measurements that they took, were so far off the scale, they've dubbed him the happiest man in the world. All right, so a French genetic scientist may seem like an unusual person to hold the title, but Matthew Ricard is the world's happiest man. According to researchers, the 66-year-old turned his back on Parisian intellectual life 40 years ago and moved to India to study Buddhism. He's now a close confidant of the Dalai Lama and respected Western scholar of religion. Okay, now it seems that daily meditation has had other benefits, enhancing Mr. Ricard's capacity for joy. Neuroscientist Richard Davison wired up the monk's skull with 256 sensors at the University of Wisconsin as a part of research on hundreds of advanced practitioners of meditation. Okay, the scan showed that when meditating on compassion, Ricard's brain produces a level of gamma waves, those linked to consciousness, attention, learning, and memory, never reported before in neuroscience literature. Davison said the scan also showed excessive activity in his brain's left prefrontal cortex compared to its right counterpart, giving him an abnormally large capacity for happiness and a reduced propensity towards negativity. Okay, so basically they did the research, wired him up to 256 sensors. That's a picture of him here being wired up before his meditation. They also used other technology to measure his brain waves. That's something similar to an MRI scan for the brain. This is him meditating while they're taking the measurements. And for the neuroscientists among us, here's a picture, and the brain surgeons, here's a picture of the scan they did on his brain when they were taking the measurements. Okay, so again, happiest man in the world. Here he is consulting with the Dalai Lama, and as you can see from the Dalai Lama's body language, quite keen to listen to what Matthew Ricard has to say, as being the happiest man in the world. Here are a few more pictures. Here you can see him at a conference with the Dalai Lama. Here he's with some business people. Here he's probably at the conference again, and in this picture you can see why he would be so happy at this particular conference. Okay, so how does that translate for corporate professionals? Okay, how does all that information translate? How does all that research, those reports, translate for corporate professionals? Appreciate that we all have a job to do. We're all in our careers, and we don't have time, and most of you may not have plans to hand over the house to the kids, sell the car, give the kids the bank account, turn over, sign over the credit cards to the kids, and disappear off into India to study Buddhism and meditate for 40 years. Appreciate we're not all going to do that. So how does this information translate? How can we harness meditation for ourselves, and how does this translate for corporate professionals? Well, basically through meditation we can achieve stress reduction, mental clarity, relaxation, concentration, increase your intuition, increase your creativity, and have a general sense of peace of mind. Okay, other benefits include building your self-confidence, again concentration, increasing productivity, relationships. So improved relationships, because you're in a calmer state and your brain is balanced and you feel more centered, then that in turn will help to improve your relationships, increase your brainwave activity. Okay, reduce bad habits, resolve your fears and phobias, anti-aging, okay, and rejuvenation. So these are some of the benefits that we can see and measure from actively participating in regular meditation. Okay, so how does meditation work? For me to explain how meditation works, let's take a look at the actual function of the brain. How does the brain work? Okay, so here we see that the brain is split into two hemispheres. Okay, so you have the left and the right hemispheres. On the left-hand side, the left brain functions are more analytical. So analytical thought, logic, language, reasoning, science and math, written, number skills, right-hand control. These are all left brain functions which are more linear functions. Okay, the right side of the brain takes care of more of our creative functions, so our creative processes. So art awareness, creativity, imagination, intuition, insight, holistic thought, music awareness, 3D forms, left-hand control. These are all functions taken care of by the right side of our brain. Okay, so how does that translate into our everyday working practice? So here we can see on the left-hand side of the brain, the left hemisphere, the left side processes information one at a time, solves a problem step by step. Okay, so very linear fashion, acts in a linear fashion, and the tasks at work that you may be doing or may be partaking in that would use the left hemisphere of the brain are things like speaking at meetings, calling up customers, so telesales, being on the phone, dealing with customers, clients, writing reports, making presentations, and creating databases. Okay, these are very linear tasks, one after the other tasks. Also with the right hemisphere, again, processes information all at the same time. So the right hemisphere basically thinks conceptually and solves the problem in its entirety. So a whole concept, a whole problem, and your right side will basically deal with the whole concept and the whole problem and give you answers in a creative manner. Okay, so let's look at the right hemisphere brain functions. So coming up with unusual solutions, fast reaction, creativity, creative approach, and unexpected ideas, all functions of the right hemisphere, the right side of the brain. Okay, so through meditation, how can we balance the left and the right hemisphere of the brain? So for instance, with the left hand, you're speaking at a meeting, you're using the left hand hemisphere, the left brain is engaged. However, somebody comes up with a question, you need to think quick, so then we're now accessing the right hemisphere of the brain. How would it, how does that translate? How can you balance the left-hand side of the brain with the right hemisphere functions? So if you're speaking at a meeting, someone comes up with a question, wouldn't it be nice if you could balance that with a fast reaction and an unusual solution, and maybe even a right brain function, again, being creative in your answer. If you're on the phone dealing with clients, dealing with customers, again, a left hemisphere brain function. The customer or the client asks some unusual questions, then, wouldn't it be nice if you were nicely balanced and you could straight away access the right hand side of your brain function and give a creative approach to what the client was saying, or give some unexpected ideas, some unexpected solutions that may help you close the sale. Also, another left hemisphere function, brain function, writing reports. How about if you're writing reports, which is a very linear task, and how about accessing, can we balance that with the right hemisphere functions, accessing the right hemisphere and introducing some creativity, a creative approach, and perhaps some unexpected ideas into your writing reports. So you can see where I'm going with this. Wouldn't it be nice if we could balance both the left and the right hemisphere? And that's what meditation does. Balances the brain, helps you to access all functions of the brain in a nicely balanced manner so that you can increase your performance. Does that make sense, everyone? Okay, perfect. So who are the Big 10 corporations providing meditation classes for their knowledge workers? Okay, we talked about the Big 10 earlier. We talked about corporates that are in some of the articles in the big magazines and the big newspapers. We talked about who were, which companies and which corporations were providing meditation. But here's a few of them here. So McKinsey and Company, AOL Time Warner, Google, Yahoo, Deutsche Bank, HBO Entertainment, Procter & Gamble, Goldman Sachs, Nike, Apple, Reebok, eBay, and Starbucks. So I've just listed a few of some of the big corporates that actually have meditation programs within their setup, and their HR departments actively provide meditation as a resource for their staff. Okay, so what meditation is the best type of meditation? So let's look at different types of meditation. Well, basically, when you start to research and you see the different types of meditation, it can become confusing. There are varying types of meditation, such as Zen meditation, Buddhist meditation, Christian meditation, scientific meditation, journeying meditation. And so what does all that mean? I mean, basically, what it boils down to, when you research the different types of meditation, they basically fall into two categories. All right, so you can have, and those two categories are passive meditation and active meditation. So a passive meditation is basically when you're relaxing, you're quietening the mind, and you are basically observing the thought processes. Okay, so you're stepping back, you're becoming the observer, you're linked to the breath, you're focusing on the breath, and you're focusing on becoming the observer and watching your thoughts and allowing the mind to become as quiet as possible. Okay, so you're almost accessing that stillness inside, that place of peace, the place of calm, while you observe the thought processes. You're not trying to do anything with your thought processes. You're basically observing the thought processes and becoming the observer. And as time goes by, you step more and more into the observer space. Okay. Active meditation. Basically, active meditation is when you're actively focusing on an outcome. So you may have a specific issue with anger. An active meditation would basically be a guided meditation that will go in and help you to release that anger. Okay, so active meditation will set up a framework for you to go in access your subconscious mind, access your thoughts, access your physical body, access the emotion, and to help you to release the emotion. Okay, so that's one example of an active journey in meditation. Okay, and that's what we provide. We provide a framework for you to go in and actively meditate so that we can deal with some of these issues. And quite honestly, the best way to meditate is to have a balance of both active and passive meditations. Okay, so what meditation services do we provide here at the Zero Point Calibration School? Okay, so we've come up with the Reset Meditation System. Okay, so we've looked at, how people function in the workplace. We've looked at the benefits that we'd like to bring to the table for corporate workers, and I've come up with the Reset Meditation Systems. So the Reset Meditation System comes in 5 modules. The first module will be delivered basically around relaxation. So we're teaching the clients, teaching everyone how to relax, giving you physical exercises, setting up a framework for you to be able to access that place of relaxation. Then module 2, energy management. So we're going to look at energy management. Module 3, stress relief. We'll focus on stress relief and relieving those stressful situations, those stressful thoughts, etc. Then module 4, emotional intelligence, helping people to tap back into that energetic energy field that exists, that energetic intelligence that exists all around us, and your own emotional intelligence. And then module number 5, we teach through meditation techniques for thought management. So let's break that down a bit further. Okay, Reset Meditation System. So module 1, relaxation. So we teach how to relax, okay, physical exercises, 5 to 10 minute meditations. We appreciate that in today's busy society, people don't have the extra hour or the 2 hours they need or would like to use for meditation. So what we've done, we've provided a framework where you have 5 to 10 minute meditations, very short meditations, where you can go in and deal with a specific issue. And it sets up a framework again for you to go in, deal with a specific issue, maybe clear a thought from your subconscious mind, or set up some new belief systems for yourself using your own intuition and your own decision-making process. Okay, so module 1, relax, peace of mind, calm, staying centered, happiness, increased awareness, and opening your heart. All right, so opening your heart and feeling a bit more love for yourself and for your family and your loved ones. Module 2, energy management. We're focused on keeping yourself in a high energy state, releasing negative energy, increasing positive thought processes, increasing your life force energy. Okay, module number 3, we focus on letting go. So letting go of the past issues that, those nagging issues that come up from your subconscious mind. Letting go, releasing worry and frustration, releasing fear. So any fear tendencies that you have, we can release those through meditation. Releasing tension, physical stress relief, and problem solving. Okay. Module 4, emotional intelligence. So we focus on brainstorming, decision making, again, opening your heart so that you can access your gut instinct and your inner knowing, intuitive sales, trusting your inner guidance, and connecting you back to that energetic intelligence. And when we say energetic intelligence, we're talking about the energetic intelligence that exists all around us. So the energetic intelligence that tells the acorn to sprout into a big oak tree. The energetic intelligence that, tells the grass to grow, tells the flowers it's time to blossom, tells a baby to cry when they're hungry, or even tells the baby it's time to, come out of the mother's womb. So we're talking about that energetic intelligence, that life force energetic intelligence that exists all around us, and connecting yourself back to that energetic intelligence. Okay, thought management, releasing negative thoughts, releasing self-sabotage, releasing limiting beliefs, intuition, how to access your intuition and trust in your inner voice. Okay, so these are all modules or component parts of each module that we'll do as 5 to 10 minute meditations that you can take away. So during the workshop, we will go through the meditations. You'll have a guided meditation, which again sets up a framework for you to access your subconscious mind and make the changes that you need to make using your own decision making process. Does that make sense, everyone? Okay, perfect. So just to recap, here I've listed 100 benefits of meditation. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I have highlighted some of them. And basically, it splits up into 3 different categories. There's your physiological benefits, your psychological benefits, and spiritual benefits. So here are some of the benefits again of meditation, just to recap. Leads to deeper level of physical relaxation. You can decrease muscle tension, helps with weight loss for those of you who are watching your weight, improve flow of air into the lungs, resulting in easier breathing. Okay, decreases the aging process. So those of you who want to look a bit younger, you've got no excuse, meditation's there. You can use it as a tool to help with the aging process. Okay, cure headaches and migraines, reduced need for medical care, less energy wasted. Okay, so you're going to be more efficient with your energy, more inclined to sports and activities, relaxes your nervous system, produces lasting beneficial changes in brain electrical activity. So you're going to have more neurons firing off in your brain. Okay, so more electrical activity in your brain, more neurons connecting, which can improve your brain function. Okay, build self-confidence, resolve phobias and fears, helps control your own thoughts, helps with focus and concentration, increase brainwave coherence, improve learning ability and memory, increase feelings of vitality and rejuvenation, increased emotional stability, improved relationships, mind ages at a slower rate, easier to remove bad habits, develops intuition, increased productivity. Okay, and there's a few more. Improved relations at home and work, able to see the larger picture in any given situation. So that will be good for those of you who are managers and, managing large teams of people. Sometimes it's good to step back and be able to step back and, view the bigger picture as you do and not get caught up in the details of any issues that you may be having with the team members at the time. Okay, develop your willpower, greater communication between the 2 brain hemispheres, as we discussed, react more quickly and more effectively to stressful events, higher intelligence growth rate, increased job satisfaction, helps you quit smoking and alcohol addiction, need less sleep to recover from sleep deprivation. So you may find yourself gaining a few hours if you practice on a regular basis. If you practice your meditation on a regular basis, you may find that you have more time on your hands. Reduces road rage, increased listening skills and empathy, helps to make more accurate judgments. Okay, develops emotional maturity. And for those of you who are spiritually inclined, there are some spiritual benefits as well. So provides peace of mind and happiness, as we saw with Mr. Ricard. Increased self-actualization, growing wisdom, deeper understanding of yourself and others, creates a deeper sense of relationship with your God. Okay, so whoever you perceive as God, experience an inner sense of assurance and knowingness, increase in synchronicity in your life. And those were some of the ones that I just highlighted that I thought, are relevant to you as a person or you as a member of a corporate team or the member of a company functioning as a team member. Okay, so basically those are the benefits. What do you need to do now? Okay, so in order to have the reset meditation system workshops run within your establishment, you can contact me for a free consultation. We can, establish some parameters, see what we can provide for your workplace, and we can discuss how we deliver the reset meditation system over a number of weeks within your organization. This is my email address. It's wade3003@gmail.com, or you can connect with me on Facebook. It's a 0 Point Calibration School on Facebook, which is basically a school that I formed to provide corporate meditation for companies like yourselves, and to provide meditation for the general corporate companies that are here around the world looking to help their staff and enhance their staff performance across the board. So that only leaves me to say thank you very much for listening to this presentation. I do hope to work with you at some time in the near future. Please feel free to contact me with any questions, any queries, or any feedback. Always happy to hear from you. So again, thank you very much for listening to this webinar, and namaste.